Good day to everyone. My name is Hazel Guevara and I will discussing to you the chapter 17 of Kotler and Keller Marketing Management, the designing and managing integrated marketing communication. First, let us define the marketing communications. Marketing communications are the means by which first attempt to inform, persuade, and remind consumers directly and indirectly about the products and brands they sell. So here's the criteria or types of the marketing communication mix. So number one is advertising. Advertising is any paid form of non-personal presentations and promotions of ideas, goods, or services by identified sponsor via radio, mga newspapers. This is that the advertising uses platforms like mga newspapers, TV, and radio stations, billboards, and electronics or online. Next is sales promotion. Sales promotion naman is a variety of short-term incentives to encourage trial or purchase of products or services including the consumer's promotions, such as samples yung mga coupons, yung mga premiums, trade promotions, such as advertising and display allowances. And business and sales first naman, promotions yung mga contests or other sales representatives. So next, another marketing communications is event and experience. So event and experience naman, it's a company-sponsored activities. So if we are familiar, if there is an event, like for example, a big events, yung mga well-known events dito that they are using these communications or marketing by events and experience kapag nag-i-sponsored sila. So they design to create daily or special brand-related interactions which consumers or including sports, arts, entertainments, and cost events as well as less of formal activities. Next, another marketing communications is public relations and publicity, a variety of programs directed internally to employees of the company or externally to consumers, other firms, the government, or the media to promote or protect a company image or its individual product communications. And another is direct marketing. Direct marketing is using for a mail or telephone na nakaka-receive tayo, di ba, ng mga messages from the Oredo, yung mga gano, Vodafone, like that. Internet, yung may mga nare-receive din tayong mga direct email coming from the business and then offering their services. So with solicit response or dialogue from specific customers and prospects. So next is interactive marketing. It's an online activities and program designs to engage customers or prospects and directly or indirectly raise awareness, improve image, or elicit sales of products and services. So lastly is personal selling or face-to-face interactions, which one or more prospective purchasers for the purpose of making presentation, answering questions, or procuring orders. So this all that I discuss is the marketing communication mix. So I will show you some pictures that includes the marketing common communicating platforms. As you can see in the pictures, in advertising, so what they are using is the print and broadcast ads, packaging, outer packaging inserts, cinema, brochure, and booklets, posters, reprints, ad billboards, and etc. In the sales promotion, here's the examples that they are using the platforms. Contests, games, sweepstakes, premium and gifts, samplings, mga exhibits or coupons. And for the events and experiences naman, they are using some of the platforms in the entertainments, festivals, company museum, street activities, and etc. While in the public relations and publicity, they are using platforms like seminars, annual reports, publications, identity media or company magazine, and etc. In the direct and interactive marketing, they are using mailings, telemarketing, electronic shoppings, TV shoppings, email, fax, and voicemail, and etc. For the word of mouth of marketing, person to person, chat rooms, blogs, or even like for example, you are working on the companies itself, and then di ba sinasabi namin, katulad ng sinabi ni Doc Aimen na ako, nag-work ako sa Jollibee. So using that, introducing yourself where you are working, it's part as well of the marketing by word of mouth marketing. So next is personal selling, like yung what we are doing, we are getting an appointment directly to the marketing managers or directly to the business owners for the some sales presentations and sales meeting, and then incentives programs, samples, fair and trade shows, and etc. So let me discuss to you as well the two fundamental elements of the communication, which is the macro model of the communication process and the micro of consumers. So macro model of the communication process in the 17.1, as you can see in the elements in the communications process pictures, it shows that the macro model with 9 key, which is the sender, encoding, message, media, decoding, receiver, noise, feedback, and response. This is to represent the major parties, sender and receiver. Two represent the major tools, message and media. Four represent the major communication functions, which is the encoding, decoding, response, and feedback. And the last element in the system is noise, random, and competing messages that may interfere with the intended communications. While the sender must know what the audience they want to reach and what responses they want to get. They must encode their messages so the target audience can decode them. They must transmit the message to media that reach that the target audience and develop feedbacks channels to monitor the responses. The more the sender's field of experience overlaps that of the receiver, the more effective the message is likely to be. Note that the selective attention, distortions, and retention processes concept first introduced in Chapter 6 may be operating during the communications. So while the micro model, consumer responses in 17.2, so it's summarized for classic response. So all these models assume that the buyer passes through cognitive, affective, and behavior stages in that order. The learn, feel, do sequence inappropriate when the audience has high involvement with the product category perceived to have high differentiations such as automobile or house. So an alternative sequence, do, feel, learn, is relevant when the audience has high involvement but perceives little or no differentiations within the product category such as the airline ticket or personal. So let us now proceed to the developing effective communications. So developing effective communications, it's having a kinds or criteria of the communication as well. So number one is identify the target audience. The process must start with the clear target audience in mind, potential buyers of the company's products, current users, deciders, or influencers, and individuals, groups, particular publics, or general public. So the target audience is a critical influence on the communication decisions about what they say, how, when, where, and to whom. So though we can profile the target audience in terms of any of the market segments identified in the chapter 8 before, it's often useful to do so in terms of usage and loyalty. So is the target new to the category on the current user? Is the target loyal to the brand, loyal competitor, or someone who switches between the brands? So if a brand user, is he or she heavy or a light user? So it's very important because the communication strategy will differ depending on the answers. We can also conduct image analysis by profiling the target audience in terms of the brand knowledge. So next is determine the communication objectives. In determining the communication objectives, we need to determine as well the category needs, which is establishing the product or service category in necessary to remove or satisfy a perceived discrepancy between a current motivation state and desired motivational state. A new to world product such as electric cars, which is like example yung Tesla, it's always begin with the communication objectives, right? Because it's establishing category needs. So next is brand awareness. Brand awareness naman is fostering the consumer's ability to recognize or to recall the brands para they will recognize and they will remind that this brand is that they need. within the category in sufficient detail to make a purchase. So recognition is important, is easier to achieve than recall. Consumers asked to think of brand of frozen entries are more likely to recognize Toffer's distinctive orange packages than to recall the brand, right? But brand recall is important outside the store. Why? Because brand recognition is important inside the store, for awareness provides the foundation of the brand equity. Like for example, I give you an example like for Jollibee, like for the brand awareness of Jollibee. When we heard Jollibee, right, we are always celebrating our birthday to Jollibee because 'di ba everyone's children's dreams is to celebrate their birthdays in Jollibees. That's one of the brand awareness and brand that easily recall to the consumers. So next naman is brand attitude. Brand attitude is helping consumers evaluate the brand's perceived ability to meet a currently relevant needs. Relevant brand needs may be negative oriented, problem removal, problem avoidance, incomplete satisfaction, normal depletions, or passively cleaning products, often to use solution, food products, or other hand, often to use sensory oriented ads emphasizing appetite appeal. So brand purchase intentions, it's a moving consumers to decide to purchase the brand or take purchase relations actions. Promotional offers like coupons or two or more deals encourage the consumer to make a mental commitment to buy. But many consumers do not have any express category need and may not be in market when exposed to an ad. So they are unlikely to form buy intentions in any given week, or only 20% adults may be planning to buy the detergents, only 2% to buy a carpet cleaner, or only 0.225% to buy a car. So next of developing effective communications is the design communications. Design communication is formulating the communications to achieve the desired response requires solving three problems. What to say, which is this is the message strategy, how to say, which is the creative strategy, and who should say it, which is this is the message source. So there is a two types of message design the communication. So one is message strategy. Message strategy is determining the message strategy management search for appeals, themes, ideas that will tie into the brand positioning, and it's help to establish points of parity or points of difference. Some of this may be directly to product, service, or performance, the quality, economy, or value of the brand, whereas others may relate to the extinct considerations that the brand is being contemporary, popular, and traditional. Then next is creative strategy. Communications effective depends on how a message is being expressed as well as its content. If a communication is ineffective, it may mean the wrong message we use or the right one is poorly expressed. Creative strategy are the way marketers translate their message into specific communications. We can broadly classify them as either informations or transformational appeals. So the fourth one is select communication channels. Selecting communication channels is efficient, means to carry that the message become more difficult as channels of communications become more fragmented and cluttered. So communication channel, may be personal or non-personal, which within each any many sub-channels. So like example, message source. Messages delivered by attractive or popular source can achieve higher attentions and recall, which is why advertisers often use celebrity as a spokespeople. Like for example, the Nike, I give you the example of Nike, right? Yung mga bago nilang nilalabas na products na sportswear or shoes, 'di ba pinapasot nila sa pinakasikat na basketball player. So in that case, so the celebrity will be the spokespeople of their brand. So celebrity are likely to be effective when they are credibly or personify a key product of attribute, because you see that if we idolize one persons na ginagamit niya yung isang bagay, 'di ba bibilihin din natin. For example, if meron akong paboritong artista and then ginamit niya yung bag na Chanel, of course, we will buy that bag kasi nakita natin na yung credibility ng brand and yung ang nagsuot is yung kilala at famous na actress na. So, next is personal communication channels. So, personal communication channels naman, it's a two or more persons communicate face to face or person to audience through a phone, surface email or email, they deprive their effectiveness from individualized presentation and feedback and include direct and interactive marketing, words of mouth marketing, and personal selling. Integrations of communication channels as well. This is two-step flow has several implications. First is the influence of mass media on public opinion is not as directed, powerful, and automatic as marketers has supposed. Is it mediated by opinion leaders, people whose opinions others seek or who carry their opinions to others? Second, the two-step flow challenges the notions and consumption styles are primarily influenced by a trickle down or trickle up effect from the mass media. People interact primarily within their own social groups or acquires ideas of opinions and leaders their groups. Third, two-step communication suggests that the mass communicators should direct message specifically to opinion leaders and let them carry the message to others. So I'll just give you another example like nowadays na 'di ba sikat ang mga influencers sa mga TikToks. So if you heard some of their reviews about the skincare products na effective sa kanila yun, di ba we are encouraging or na-attract din tayo to buy the products that what they are using because of their good feedbacks. And then if we watch a bad feedbacks naman or bad reviews sa isang products na sila yung gumamit, 'di ba na-discourage tayo or mas bumababa yung power of purchase natin to buy that product because narinig natin na merong negative na reviews na yon. So that's the example. So next, the number 5 is establish the total marketing communications budget. This is the most difficult marketing. Why? The decision is determining how much to spend on the marketing communications. So there is a three method of the establish the total marketing communication budget, which is one is affordable method. So some of the companies set the communication budget at they think that the company can afford. The affordable method completely ignores the role of promotion as an investment and intermediate impact of the promotion sales volume. The second is percentage of the sales method. Some of the companies set communication expenditures at a specified percentage of the current anticipated sales of their sales price. So like example, the automobiles company, which is typically budgeted a fixed percentage based on the planned car price. Oil companies appropriate a fractions of a cent to each gallon of the gasoline sold under their own label. So the last method is competitive parity method, which is the some companies set their communication budget to achieve share of voice parity with competitors. So there are two supporting arguments. The competitors parity prevents communication wars. Neither argument is valid. There are no grounds of believing competitors know better. So let us now proceed to the designing communications. As you can see in the slide, there is as well the four characteristic of the designing on the marketing communication mix, which is one is a message strategy, creative strategy, global adaptation, and message source. So now let us proceed to the deciding on marketing communication mix. So deciding in marketing communication mix, there is a criteria on this. One is advertising, as I already discussed it to you earlier, that it's a geographic dispersed buyer. It can build a long-term image for a product, like for example, the Coca-Cola ads or triggered quick sales, a masses or weekend sale. Certain forms of the advertising, such as a TV, can require a large budget, whereas other forms such as newspaper do not. So the mere presence of advertising might have an effect on the sales. Consumer might believe a heavily advertised brand must offer good value. Because of the many forms and uses of the advertising, it's difficult to make generalizations about it. So three types of the advertising, which is the pervasiveness. Advertising permits the seller to repeat a message many times. It also allows the buyer to receive the messages of various competitors. Large-scale advertising says something positive about the seller's size, power, and success. Next is amplified expressiveness. Amplified expressiveness, its advertising provides opportunities for dramatizing the company and its brand and products through the artful use of print, sound, and colors. Then next is control. The advertisers can choose the aspects of the brand and products on which to focus on the communications. So other criteria is the sales promotions. Sales promotions companies use these promotional tools for coupons, contests, premiums, and like to draw a stronger and quicker buyer response, including short-run effects such as highlighting products, offers, and boosting sagging sales. Sales promotional tools is there is a three benefits. One is ability to be attentions getting, so they draw attentions and may lead the consumer to the products. Incentive as well, they incorporate some concessions, inducements, and contributions that gives value to the consumers. Invitations also, they include this is distinctive invitation to enrich the transactions. So another criteria is the public relations and publicity. So public relations and publicities, marketers tend to undersue public relations, yet a well throughout program coordinated with the another communication mix element can be extremely effective. Why? Because especially if its company needs to the challenge consumers' misconceptions, the appeal of the public relations and publicity is based on the three distinctive qualities: the high credibility, so news story and features are more authentic and credible to the readers than ads, right? So if you heard some of the testimonials of that products na talagang nangyari din sa kanila and then they share the story, of course that the credibility of the products, mas maniniwala yung tao, and then of course mas may encourage yung customers to buy your products. And then it's also the ability to reach hard to find the buyers, of course, because public relations can reach prospects who prefer to avoid mass media and targeted promotions, because not all customers naman is some of the customers, they are very busy to watch TV ads, right? And hindi sila ganun ka-attract sa mga TV ads. May mga ganun customers. So, it's effective, the public relations. Next is dramatizations. Public relations can tell the story behind the company, because every story behind the company, we inspired. So, like for example, yung behind the success of Bill Gates for the Microsoft, behind the success of Elon Musk from the Tesla. So in that case, we purchase their products. So next is another criteria is events and experiences. For the event and experiences, there are many advantages to event and experience as long as they have the following characteristics. So number one is relevant. A well-chosen event or experience can be seen in the high relevant because the consumer is often personally invested in the outcome. Next is engaging. Given their live, real-time quality, events and experience are more actively engaging for consumers. Implicit events are typically indirect soft sell. So I will give you the example of the FIFA. As we all know na the competitor of shoes is Adidas and FIFA, but Adidas sponsored the FIFA. So nung nag-join sila sa event ng FIFA football, tumaas ang sales ng Adidas. So that one is the one of the example, because they engage to the audience, to the customers in real time. So next is word of mouth marketing. Word of mouth also takes many forms, both online or offline. So there is a three noteworthy characteristic. Number one is influential rather, because people trust other, they know and respect. Word of mouth can be highly influential, of course. And next is personal. Word of mouth can be a very intimate dialogue that reflect personal facts, opinions, and experience. Timely word of mouth occurs when people want it to and are most interested, and it often follows noteworthy or meaningful events or experiences. So the best example for this is if, for example, if you are selling like a slimming pills or slimming drinks, And syempre ang target market natin, 'di ba, yung mga hindi pa slim. So the testimonial of themselves is yung pag tinik nila yung slimming pills na yon, so they testify na ito effective to dahil dito ako pumayat. So this is the part of the word of mouth marketing. So next is personal selling. Personal selling is the most effective tool at later stages of the buying process, particularly in building up buyer preference, conviction, and action. So personal selling has three notable qualities. Number one is personal interactions. Personal selling creates an immediate and interactive episode between two or more persons, each and able to observe the other reactions. Cultivation, personal selling also permits all kind of relations to spring up, ranging for a matter of the fact selling relationship to deeper personal friendship. Then response, the buyer is often given personal choice and encouraged to direct response directly. So let us now proceed to the type of product market. So let me discuss to you the factors in setting the marketing communication mix. So the type of product market communications, it's a mix allocations vary between consumers and business marketers. Consumers marketers tend to spend comparatively more on sales, promotion, and advertising. Business marketers tend to spend comparatively more on personal selling. So in general, personal selling is used more with complex, expensive, and risky goods and in markets with fewer and larger sellers, hence business markets. So there is a two-stage of the type of product market communications, the market readiness stage. So market readiness stage communications tools vary in the cost effectiveness and different stages of the buyer. Readiness in figure 17.4 shows the relative cost effectiveness of three communication tools. Advertising and publicity played the most important roles in the awareness building stage. Customer comprehension is primarily affected by advertising and personal selling. So customer conviction is influenced mostly by the personal selling. Closing the sale is influenced mostly by personal selling and sales promotions. Reordering is also affected mostly by the personal selling. So next is the product life cycling stage, which is the introduction stage of the product life cycle. Advertising, events, and experiences and publicity have the highest cost effectiveness, followed by the personal selling to gain distribution coverage and sales promotions and direct marketing to introduce trial. In the growth stage, demand has its own momentum through word of mouth and interactive marketing. Advertising and events and experiences and personal selling all become more important in maturity stage. In the decline stage, sales promotions continue strong, other communication tools are reduced, and salespeople give the product too minimal attention. So let me explain to you the figure 17.5, the managing and integrated marketing communication process. So many companies still rely on only one or two communication tools. This practice persists in despite of the fragmenting of the market or the mass market into the multitudes of mini market, each requiring its own approach, and the proliferations of new types of media and the growing sophistication of the consumers. So in figure 17.5, as you can see, it's provide the example of the good feedback measurement. So we found that the 80% of the consumers in the total market are aware on the brand A. So there is a two brands, which is the brand A and brand B. So in brand A, the 80% of the consumers total market are aware, 60% have tried it, and only 20% who tried it are satisfied. So this indicates that the communication program is effective in creating awareness, but the product fails to meet consumer expectations. In contrast, 40% of the consumer in total market are aware of the brand B in the right side, and only 30% have tried it. But 80%, as you can see, of them are satisfied. So in this case, the communication program needs to be the strengthened to take advantage of the brand's potential power. I also share it with you also the summary of my reports for the communications. You can read it from its numbers 1 to 10. And before I end Okay, before I end my reports, I just want to share with you the the quotes from the author of the marketing management, which is Mr. Philip Kotler. He said that integrated marketing communication is a way of looking at the whole marketing process from the viewpoint of the customers. So thank you so much for listening to my report, and I hope you learned something from me that I studied about the communications and marketing. Thank you so much and have a nice day.